Actually, my English is very, very poor. Broken English. But in any way, my age, I think around, 21 or something. I came to India at Buddha Jayanti celebration, short period, few months. Then I already impressed this country's richness of thought. Then also, under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi ji, they carried India's freedom struggle through non-violence. Very impressive. Then 1959, my age 24, I took political asylum in this country. Then because of freedom of this country, I had a lot of opportunity to learn through meeting with people. People from different religious tradition and people from different sort of field, particularly the scientists. I had a lot of opportunity meeting with these people. So I learned a lot. Meantime, I also have the opportunity visit different countries in the West and also in some extent in Africa and Asia and also Middle East. Then, unfortunately, sometimes certain conflict, at least the concerned people use name of religion. Although their main aim may be different, political power or economy, but often use religious name. For example, in Northern Ireland, fight between Catholic, Protestant, even killing. And some Muslim world fighting between Sunni, Shia. When I saw these things, and I really deeply moved, India's tradition, 1,000 years, different religious tradition live together harmoniously. I very much impressed. Of course, little sort of incidents or problems here and there, that bound to happen. This is a huge country. So nearly a billion population, some mischievous people bound to be there. But overall, I think this country, I think the last 3,000 years, I think kept the spirit, all different traditions live together, respect. There's some time back, at our meeting, you mentioned that one of the major factors for successful democracy in this country is the India, 1,000 years in the philosophical field, you see, disagreement, argument. For example, he mentioned Charvaka. Is he considered nihilism? So rest of many spiritual sort of thinkers argue their view, but respect. Refer them Rishi, you mentioned. So like that, I often is telling people, in ancient time, these Charvaka who deny existence of God, or existence of next life, existence of law of causality, these things. But you see, people, so these people, I usually call ancient non-believer. So Indian tradition respect these people. So that means today we also respect modern non-believer. Modern, what is it, Kasa Disabni. Kasa. Atheist, right? I think atheist, isn't it? Atheist. Oh. So that's India's richness. Respect. All form of life, all human being, and with that, respect different views, different belief. I think that's really India's, I think, the real precious. 1,000 years you kept these things and still alive. Then another thing, India's 1,000-year-old concept of ahimsa, non-violence. When I saw so many bloodshed, according to some historian, last century, 20th century, more than 200 millions of human beings killed through war, including civil war. So I usually call 20th century become like century of bloodshed, century of violence. Now, since we notice, you see, that century, so many killed, so many suffering took place. And still there are a lot of problems remain there. So therefore, now this century, 21st century, should be century of dialogue, century of non-violence. So now India, you have 1,000-year-old concept of non-violence. So now two things. Concept of harmony among all religious tradition and concept of ahimsa. These two things are, I think, this country, Bharat, kept 1,000 years. Now time come. This must show rest of the world. India's these two traditions should be model of rest of the world. This is how I really feel. So today's world, particularly now today's world, in the reality, economy reasons and also environment reasons and due to some other factor, now world become much smaller. And each continent, each nation, now heavily interdependent. Under that circumstances, you see, the 1,000-year-old India's tradition is very, very relevant. So now I often, you see, when I met, you see, my Indian friends, and not only friends, as you mentioned, I usually describe myself as a son of India. Except, you see, I have no beard here. So I may hire something from here. So except that, you see, and sincerely, seriously, my brain here, certain my sort of views and certain sort of philosophical thinking, all this come from India, Nalanda tradition. And then physically also, now last 51 years, this physical fed by Indian dals and chapati and Indian rice. So therefore, reality, and realistically speaking, I'm a son of India. So therefore, wherever I go, I always carry these ancient Indian thought, two things, ahimsa and pluralism of religion and harmony among different religious traditions. And also, in the connection of promotion of ahimsa, I also try to promote secular ethics without touching particular religion. Just the basis of our common sense, common experience, and also the latest scientific finding. More peace of mind, more calm mind, very good for our health. And then also, calm mind is the basis of utilize our common human intelligence. Once our mind disturbed by destructive emotion, then our brain, which judge more holistic way, that can't function. So therefore, two reasons for health reason calm mind is very essential. And second, in order to utilize human brain properly, calm mind is very necessary. One my scientist friend, one American, I think his age now, I think, I don't know whether he alive or not. If he alive, I think now 90s, who has a specialist about the mental problem. So he mentioned, once I met him, he mentioned, when we develop anger or hatred, the object which we feel, you see, the angry or anger or the hatred, you see, that object appears very negative. But in reality, 90% of that negativeness is mental projection, not reality, because of anger. Similarly, attachment. It appears very beautiful, but actually, again, 80-90% are mental projection. As soon as the mental attitude change, then your attitude also will change. So, you see, we can't see the reality. Without seeing or without fuller knowledge about the reality, then our way of approach becomes unrealistic. So therefore, it is very, very essential to know the reality. Through one dimension, you can't see the reality. We must look any event, we must look from 3 dimension or 4 dimension, 6 dimension with calm mind. Then we get the fuller picture of the reality. With that fuller knowledge, our approach become realistic. Through unrealistic method, it is quite sure you will not get satisfactory result. Our approach must be realistic. For that, we must know the reality fully. For that, calm mind. For that, investigation is very essential. In order to carry proper investigation, calm mind is very necessary. So, using these reasons, I usually say telling people, compassion, warm-heartedness is the one major factor to create a calm mind. So beautiful music may bring calmness on mind short period. But compassion or tremendous faith will bring calm mind more durable. So if you practice compassion or genuine faith in early morning, the rest of the day, your mind comparatively can be more calm. So whether believer or non-believer, it is everybody's sort of benefit. So that's the way I usually call secular way of approach these inner values. So like that. So these also, you see, I learned from your tradition. Therefore, I always feel proud to say I am son of India. And then also, I usually describe relation between Tibetan and Indian, like a relation between Guru and Chela. Now you are Guru, our Guru. We Tibetan, Chela. And sometimes even you see expressing, we are quite a reliable Chela. Because, last, I think 1,000 years, while there is a Nalanda tradition and some other Indian tradition, particularly the Nalanda tradition, a lot of damage took place, their own homeland. During this period, we kept intact Nalanda sort of thought, Nalanda school of thought. So that proves we are quite reliable Chela. So therefore, you see, our relation is something very, very unique. So, whenever I participate come to participate in gathering of this big sort of gurus or gathering of gurus. Some gurus a lot of beer, some guru without beer. Even you see not here. I always happy feel, this is sort of group of 1,000-year-old our home. So thank you very much. Thank you.